All right, everybody, we get upstairs. All right, thank you for joining us for our June Finance and Administration Committee. We're going to do a little bit of an agenda switcheroo since we have some guests. If our auditors could come up for their presentation, we're going to take this at the beginning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon. I'm Christy Baird. I'm the Chief Accountant for the city, and I have members of the State Auditor's Office introducing them for each of the financial statements.
I'm not sure if that microphone is on.
Here.
Is there a button on it? Push that button. There we go. All right.
Try again. Good afternoon. I'm Christy Baird. I'm the Chief Accountant for the city. I have members of the State Auditor's Office here for our entrance for the 2024 federal and financial audits.
Thank you, Christy. My name is Alicia Shaw. I'm the audit manager for Team Pullman, and with me today I have Dylan Wharton, who's the in-charge auditor for this year's audit, and then I also have Matt Thompson, who's the supervisor for the audit. We appreciate the opportunity to meet with you this afternoon so that we could share our planned scope for the financial statement and federal grant compliance audit for 2024. Can I move to the next slide, please? Oh, I should have a clicker? Okay, this is so techy. How do I move? Which button am I pushing here? I did. There we go. Okay. The State Auditor's Office, we do perform about 2,700 state and local governments each year, and our mission is to help increase trust in government. And we do that through the independent and transparent audits that we perform. During the course of an audit, we'll point out areas where controls could be better improved and there could be better compliance with laws or regulations. For this purpose of this audit, we can see on the screen many of the audit types that we do perform. For this particular year, we are performing a financial and federal grant compliance audit. Those are the more colorful boxes up there, and some of the more common audits that we do perform for the city of Spokane. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dylan to talk about our audit scope for this year.
I'll go ahead and do it from up here.
Okay, thank you. All right. So our financial statement audit for the city will cover the city's 2024 fiscal year. We wanted to point out that our audits are conducted in accordance with government auditing standards. Those standards require that we take a look at the city's internal controls that it goes through to prepare the financial statements. Should we become aware of any issues with the city's process to prepare the financial statements that could or did allow for misstatements to occur, we're required to alert you to those matters during the audit process. And then lastly, we will also remain alert to any identified instances of noncompliance that could impact the information presented in the financial statements. And again, we'll bring those to your attention during the audit process if identified. At the end of the engagement, we will issue a financial statement audit report in accordance with U.S. GAAP. This report will detail the opinion our office is issuing, the results of our consideration of the city's internal controls and compliance, as well as a full set of the audited financial statements. Next slide, please. In relation to our financial statement audit, we did want to bring to your attention a special area of focus for the 2024 fiscal year. The city was required to implement Governmental Accounting Standards Board Statement number 101 related to compensated absences. This standard addresses certain issues related to the accounting and financial reporting for the city's compensated absences liability. Next slide. Additionally, we wanted to note that the city has also received a financial statement audit from Moss Adams, now known as Baker Tilly, for the 2024 audit period over the city's CSRS, police, and firefighter pension funds. We will review the work performed by the CPA firm to determine if there's any cause for concern regarding audit quality. We'll share any information identified regarding limitations of our review or any instances in which a material misstatement of the financial statements has been identified as a result of fraud or suspected fraud. The CSRS pension fund is material to the city's aggregate remaining funds opinion unit. unit. So for this pension fund, we will be performing a work paper review over the work performed by the CPA firm. As for the police and firefighter pension funds, those are smaller dollar amounts, so we will not perform as extensive of reviews over that work, other than verifying that the amounts reported agree to the financial statements. Next slide, please. Also, for the 2024 fiscal year for the city, we'll be conducting a federal grant compliance audit. This will be to determine whether or not the city has materially complied with the requirements of receiving federal funding. We conduct our federal grant compliance audits in accordance with uniform guidance, which requires our office to gain an understanding of the city's internal controls in place to ensure that federal grant requirements are being followed. And again, if we identify any weaknesses or concerns with that process throughout the audit, we're required to bring those to your attention. At the end of the audit, we will issue an audit report in conjunction with the financial statement audit report. Next slide, please. On this slide, this details the programs that we'll be auditing in the federal grant compliance audit. Our office is required to select enough programs to ensure that federal coverage requirements are being met. And in doing so, we selected the city's highway planning and construction grant program and the COVID-19 coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds program for audit this year. These two programs make up approximately 75% of the city's federal expenditures for the 2024 fiscal year. Next slide, please. Our office values the continuous communication between our office and the city, and this slide demonstrates the various ways that we work with the city throughout the audit process. While there's 6 items illustrated on this slide, we wanted to highlight 2 in particular. First, the weekly status update meeting. Every Monday, our audit team meets with various members of leadership within the city to provide an update on the overview of the current status of the audit, areas that have been completed to that point, other areas that are still in progress, and discussing any questions or concerns that we may have at that time. Second, the exit conference. This will be a similar presentation to the one we're giving now, but instead of discussing the areas we will be auditing, we'll be going over the results of the areas audited. So with that, I'll pass this over to Matt Thompson to wrap up our presentation and go over some additional information about our audit process and our office.
Thanks, Dylan. Okay, so I just have some administrative stuff to go over, and so if we can go to the next slide there. We do report on 3 different levels of reporting. So we have findings, which are the most significant level of reporting. They often are material weaknesses in internal controls, material noncompliance with grants, maybe material misstatements on the financial statements, things of that nature. And in the event that we identify any issues like that, they are reported as a finding. Those findings are published in our audit report, and in those instances, the city has an opportunity to respond to those findings. The city's response would also be published in that audit report as well. The next level you'll see there is management letters. Those are obviously that in-between area. Those are things that we feel should be brought to council's attention, and however, they're not significant enough that we feel should be published in our audit report. So what you'll see in the audit report is really just a statement that says that on the day of our exit, we provided council this management letter. And then lastly, we have exit items. These are more of those housekeeping kind of borderline nitpicky kind of items that we want to bring to management's attention so that they don't rise to a level of a management letter or a finding in a subsequent audit. Next slide, please. Just some other information. We know we deal with a lot of confidential information, so we are working with Christy Baird for the financial statement audit, as well as Skylar Brown for the federal grant compliance audit. We do want to make sure that any information that we request that has confidential information, whether that be HIPAA information, social security numbers, anything like that, that we are aware of that when we make that request. And that way we can make sure that we do our due diligence to safeguard that information while those documents are in our care. Next thing is audit costs. On page 2 of your packet, you'll see we do estimate audit costs to be about $285,500 for the audit costs. And then again, in the fall, we'll go through another audit process, which will have another set of audit costs there. And then next, we have the audit dispute process. In the event that there's any disagreements between management and Dylan, myself, then we do let you know there is an audit dispute process where we recommend that you just follow up with Alicia Shaw and work with her to resolve any disagreements or anything like that. Management will likely be handling that, but in the event, just know that process is available. And then next we have loss reporting. This is a reminder as well on page 2 of your packet that just says that in the event of any known or suspected instances of fraud or loss, those are required to be reported to our office under state law. So there's a link in there to report that to our office. Next slide, please. One thing we have seen an uptick on are cybersecurity issues, just statewide. And so just one of the things we do bring to everybody's attention is in the event that there's any known single security incident that affected more than 500 Washington residents, not only does it have to be reported to our office, but it also has to be reported to the Attorney General's office. And in those instances, that link is in the packet as well. And then next slide. Peer reviews of the Washington State Auditor's Office. We throw this in there just so you know that our last peer review was a pass rating. If you ever want to read about it, that link is in your packet as well. And then just some resources that we have. Local government support team for management primarily is there to assist with any online filing and doing help desk. So in the event that there's any questions regarding anything related to federal grants, financial statements, or even accountability areas such as like cash receipting and things like that, we do recommend using the help desk just because it does get routed to a specialist and it gives you actual documented feedback from our office on how we interpret that to be in compliance or not. Any questions for us? Nope. All right, well, we appreciate your time and thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today. We're just going to jump ahead since we do have a lot of guests here to public testimony. First, we're going to start with Marshall Powell. You want to come on down?
Hello, my name is Marshall Powell, and I'm the general manager of the Elk Public House in LK and Browns Edition and the 2-7 Public House on the South Hill, both located in the city of Spokane. I am here to urge the City Council to approve the ordinance exempting local liquor licensees from the state alcohol signage rules as allowed in the WAC, especially when it comes to neon signs. Restricting neon signs will darken our downtown and make our neighborhood business districts seem less welcoming. This ordinance still allows churches, schools, and playgrounds within 500 feet of licensed premises to object to the placement of alcohol advertising towards the public right-of-way. When there are giant billboards all over the city advertising breweries and cannabis dispensaries, limiting how a bar chooses to advertise its products on its own premise seems out of place. This is a common sense change that many other cities in Washington have already passed, and I urge the City Council to do the same. Thank you to Councilmember Dillon for bringing this forward, and thank you for the Council for your time on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. Okay, next up, we are going to have Cheryl Stewart.
Good afternoon. My name is Cheryl Stewart. I'm the Executive Director of the Inland Northwest AGC. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today regarding the Public Dollars for Public Benefit Ordinance, and thank you to Councilmember Dillon, who's going to meet with me later this week to continue the conversation. I'm here on behalf of the contractors building Spokane and who want to keep building here. As you can imagine, we have several concerns with this ordinance. First off, we're concerned that contractors, especially local ones, haven't been included in the process up until now. It was a little disheartening to hear at the press conference this morning to hear contractors referred to as criminals, but I think the city can agree that there are several very good quality local contractors that you have worked with that have built amazing projects in Spokane, and to exclude them from this conversation up until now is really an oversight. Second, we're concerned about how this will affect local apprentices. For example, I have over 200 apprentices enrolled locally in state-approved apprenticeship programs that will no longer be able to work on city projects because of how this ordinance is written. Local pre-apprenticeship programs, for instance, New Tech's pre-apprenticeship program, would not qualify for priority hire because it's not sponsored by a training agent. And since this all has to run through union apprenticeship programs now, have we verified that they even have the workforce available to meet those 20% requirements? These are skilled, trained positions. I mean, we can't just pluck 20% of our workforce off the streets because they live in a certain zip code and expect them to be safe and productive on a job site. At the very least, this part needs to be phased in. We can't just make that commitment right away. And we share your commitment to building the local workforce. I mean, we invest hundreds of thousands of dollars every year in this. But this ordinance puts a huge burden on contractors, especially small local firms, you know, from hitting hiring targets, securing childcare access, and complying with rigid labor terms, many of things which are out of our control. We just urge you to slow down, gather all the stakeholders, and come up with a solution that really does uplift the workforce and doesn't crush the people trying to deliver your projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Next up, we will have Tony Edwards.
Tony Edwards, Spokane Carpenters, Local 59. I just want to say, New Tech, we have an articulation agreement with them. It is a pre-apprenticeship program. They come right into our apprenticeship and they go right to work. But today we're here to talk about public dollars for public benefit, an ordinance that will bridge the government, businesses, and the workforce. Public dollars for public benefit includes provisions for training and apprenticeship programs. This commitment to education not only enhances individual lives, but strengthens Spokane's economy by creating a more competent and competitive workforce. By ensuring that the jobs created through public projects go to Spokane workers, we foster economic growth within our community. This is not only helps families become financially stable, but also builds a skilled workforce that can adapt to future demands in the construction industry. When Spokane workers are employed and trained, they are more likely to invest back into Spokane. This creates a cycle of prosperity where economic development leads to better schools, safer streets, and enriched public services. Public dollars for public benefit is not just a policy, it's a pathway to a stronger, more resilient Spokane by prioritizing local employment, investing in training, promoting diversity, ensuring accountability, and fostering sustainability. We can create a Spokane where everyone can succeed. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we're going to have Daniel Vallejo.
Esteemed Council, I'm Daniel Vial, Chief Executive Officer of Intelligent Partnerships. We are a nationally recognized subject matter expert in the process of these types of public policies, community workforce agreements, project labor agreements. Our firm has managed billions of dollars covered by these policies. And the one thing in the limited time that I have that I would like to make clear is that these are administrative reporting processes. They're not a construction deliverable. And so lots of the questions that come up are, you know, complaints from contractors that say, oh, it's going to raise our bid 20 to 30%. It's an administrative report process. Most of your engineer estimates already have 3 to 6% in project management assigned to it. In our history over a decade, it's less than 1% that it costs. So I just want to settle that right from the jump. In terms of apprenticeship utilization and local hiring, there's access for any state or federally recognized program that can be utilized. Most of the programs, as was just indicated, that are tied to WIOA funding that your workforce boards are typically already approving, will have an articulation agreement with registered apprenticeship programs. Happy to be an available resource and answer as many questions as you like. I know I have limited time here, but happy to be responsive.
All right, next up, we will have Ozell Wilkins.
Thank you for your time. I'm Ozell Wilkins. I'm an apprentice with Ironworkers Local 14. I'm supporting this ordinance because 1 year ago I was struggling. I was a full-time parent to my middle schooler, co-parenting with my younger kids while trying to work 2 jobs. I was attending Spokane Falls, and due to my crimes in the past, it was rough to even get 1 job. And finding someone to rent to me was impossible. Homelessness was real. In June of 2024, I found this apprenticeship and they accepted me. I could work and go to school. For about 9 months, I traveled and worked wherever I was dispatched, all while living in my car. I got connected to Spokane Schools Heart Program and some good people in Spokane to keep me providing for my son and help him stay at Yasahara. Those 9 months were challenging, but I knew the apprenticeship would allow us to excel. We finally found a stable place to live. I'm saving to buy a house. My son just finished baseball, and I know he's not missing out on being a kid anymore. I get to be a father to my children. I provide their meals every night. I'm offered health care and a chance of retirement. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Then last up, we're going to have Josh Valley.
Thank you. Good evening, council members. My name is Josh Valle, and I'm proud to represent Carpenters Union Local 59 here in Spokane. At 18, I became a father. At 20, I was working dead-end jobs through temp agencies, doing everything I could to provide for my daughter, but barely getting by. I know what it's like to be a young parent with no guidance, no support, and no clear path forward. That all changed when I was accepted into the Carpenters Union Apprenticeship Program. Over the next 4 years, I learned valuable skills on job sites and in the classrooms. That gave me more than just a paycheck. I gained confidence, purpose, and a real career. After completing the program, I became a lead in the field, and eventually I was honored with the opportunity to represent the Carpenters Union and advocate for workers across our region. I'm only 30 years old today, but the last 10 years have been the most transformative in my life. That's the power of union apprenticeships. It turns struggles into opportunities. It builds careers, families, and strong communities. I'm here to ask you that you support policies like community workforce agreements that create more pathways like the one I found. Investing in union apprenticeships is investing in local workers and in the future of this city. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to working people like me.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to do a little more agenda hopscotch, so bear with me. And thanks for everyone who came through to testify. So next up, we're going to hear from Alex about a resolution relating to procurement to improve participation.
Good afternoon, Council, Chair Dillon. Thank you for having me here today. I am introducing a resolution relating to the procurement of services and goods by the city to develop an inclusive, data-driven, transparent process to improve participation by qualified, small, minority, and women and veteran-owned businesses. We've been working together with Jason Nikonisky and Jarrell Haynes from the Office of Civil Rights. And obviously Jason's from the Department of Purchasing and Contracting. This resolution came about due to ongoing feedback that we've been receiving from community firms that they are experiencing difficulty landing city contracts, changes in state policy, and then it was also called out in our 2021 Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy for the region that asks to expand public contracting opportunities for BIPOC-owned businesses, including support, mentorship programs, and alleviating procedural barriers. It does three things. It asks the mayor to direct Department of Purchasing to collect data, be able to disaggregate by size of contracts where we're contracting it with, and then also break it down by race, gender, and veteran status. It also asks for an outreach plan or an inclusion plan to understand what the barriers are or understand what opportunities there might be to improve our processes, and then also have a yearly report to council. Did I miss anything? Any questions? Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I am curious. So it says develop a plan of inclusion. Is there any sense of how we would do that, particularly just with our system, kind of lowest bid
That's pretty much where we're starting is, we've got a lot of efforts that we do to, our best efforts to reduce potential barriers and make sure that everything is fair, open, and transparent. But we haven't really done any kind of reporting to realize to see how effective we are in that. And so ultimately, this is a stretch goal for us to get us to start reporting on some of our existing efforts so that we can then better understand where we may or may not advise policy changes downstream.
Okay, no, that makes sense. It also says, kind of in conjunction with city departments, convene community organizations. And I'm just hoping that there will be kind of a broad selection of groups that have a lot of membership or participants who bid. Cheryl was down here, AGC is one, the trades, another. I think there's a lot of maybe non-advocacy activist groups that are more business-oriented that have a lot of information that would be really good to bring to that table, and so I'm just hoping that will be a part of that process.
Yeah, that is the intent. There was a lot of really good effort that the city put into place pre-COVID, and a lot of those connections have evaporated, as we've seen with a lot of things during COVID. And so the goal with this, again, part of that stretch goal is to try to get a way to make sure that those are ingrained in our daily business so that we can make sure that they get sustained above and beyond and don't get upset by things like COVID in the future.
And then last comment, I just think if we could track as a part of this, how we put the information out into the community or the broader state, country, wherever it is it's going. For some things, I've never really gotten a clear grasp of how we promote those other than kind of our city website and some of those kind of obvious tools. And so if we could track some of that and get a sense of how we're pushing it out, there's probably a lot of places where we could better advertise that would help attract different interested parties.
Agreed, and that's where we're hoping to get some feedback from the various community groups to help us better understand is their connection. So, for example, there was a lot of entities that we used to work with that they had a direct link to our ProcureWare, to our website, and so they would help broadcast that for us. So there's new technology, new methodologies, new audience members that would maybe present some additional solutions to that. So, it's a win-win all around if we can get more people aware of the business opportunities within the city.
That's great. Thank you, guys.
Any other questions?
Seeing no more questions, thank you so much for being here. All right, I'm going to keep moving ahead. So the ordinance, public dollars for public benefit regarding public works. So really this ordinance looks at developing community workforce agreement, priority hire policy to promote training and career opportunities for folks in the construction trades, looks at establishing priorities for the hiring in economically distressed areas. So we have outlined those zip codes. It would apply to projects that are $5 million or more. By project, there was a mention of the 20% number. So that requires that a minimum 20% of all priority hire labor hours in each trade on a construction project requiring the utilization of priority hire be performed by a combination of preferred entry and priority hire candidates. There's also a program evaluation, so related to the previous resolution that we heard, establishing benchmarks and metrics to evaluate the program. Just after talking with the administration and what a dashboard could look like that has some of the benefits of this, we would have that available in 2028 to kind of create a softer on-ramp, just understanding some of the staff capacity issues in trying to implement this. We've seen community workforce agreements applied nationally in Washington State. A lot of this ordinance language, we really looked at the Snohomish County Council that just passed theirs. We've seen this apply to WSDOT with various state construction projects. And so I know there's a lot of different studies out there. Invariably, they do show the positive economic impact for increasing workforce, diverse hiring, the offset of lower costs to, I think, a lot of the public costs associated with workforce gaps and challenges. And we heard from folks here today a lot of the powerful and heartfelt testimony from folks finding a home, being able to live a stable and whole life and really getting back on their feet. And that's what this ordinance really is about. Process-wise, too, I definitely hear the concerns of Cheryl and did send the ordinance last week. We are following up this week for another discussion. I think we'll have a bigger stakeholder discussion as well, so we can all meet and discuss some of the questions that are out there and get some clarity and do some more outreach and look at next steps. Any questions? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, I'd love to see the data. I heard the consultant mention that the estimates of 20 to 30% increased cost is not accurate. And I know that's kind of the number that our budget director came up with, that it would add costs. And so I would just love to see the data that bears it out, that it's not actually going to increase any costs. There's a lot in here, particularly with hiring, but also with benefits that have to be provided, daycare, childcare, important stuff. But certainly if that's a new benefit, I don't know how you could do that for less money than what is happening now. So I can see a lot of places where this will actually increase cost regardless. And at the end of the day, I just think when you exclude some level of competition, you're just kind of giving more ability to raise those costs and potentially even affect standards. Now, I don't think that's necessarily the case here, but I am very concerned with the number of projects we're able to get done in a year, and I'm very concerned with either seeing that number reduced or seeing the cost for what we are able to get done increased. I think it's very important that we come up with strategies to hire local individuals to work on projects. I don't think this actually does that. It doesn't say anywhere local. It just says economically distressed areas. So that could be anywhere, in my mind, where an economically distressed area is, and you're bringing that worker in to do the work, you're satisfying the requirements of this contract. I would like to see a real emphasis, and I think incentives are the best way to do it, but I would love to see a big emphasis on hiring local. It's not the easiest thing to do. I mean, even the consultants brought in from the west side of the state. So it's a good indicator that it's hard to find local folks, and we need to do a better job, I think, of training and providing that workforce educational opportunities for folks here in town in order to fulfill these jobs. But at the end of the day, I don't think it matters who's doing the work as long as it's to the standard that we expect. And if we can incentivize them to bring in those local workers and find those local workers, then that's going to be a huge boon to everybody. So anyway, would love to see whatever data that you guys have that you've put together as a part of this research process and compare that with the data that we've got and see where we land.
Yeah, thank you. And I will clarify the economically distressed zip codes. I thought we specified that in this ordinance. I'll go back and double check.
I might have missed it.
Yeah, you're fine. But it was 99201. I said 99. What is it? What's the soap opera? 90210. They're definitely not an economically distressed zip code if you ever watched that show. But 99201, 99202, 99204, 99207, and 99205. And so that was part of that indicator. Yeah.
Can I ask how you landed on those zip codes? Because I live in 217, but I can tell you there's a number of folks that are in distressed areas within my zip code.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, that is kind of partial, I would say, within that zone. It's still, according to different census data, from the state, federally, that designation still applies to that zip code. 99202 is East Central, but also goes further up to like the South Hill. So certainly there's some parts where there's a bit more of an overlay. Go ahead.
Thank you for everybody who came down. I do appreciate the incorporation of 99205, which wasn't originally in the ordinance, but if folks are interested in doing a more precise breakdown of the economically distressed zip codes, happy to do that, but the reason I felt that 99205 should be included is because there are some real economically distressed areas around there. So would be happy to work with other council members on a deep dive on that. And I just want to make a comment, which is not quite germane, and I apologize for that, but I am so sorry for your loss, Carpenters 59. I felt like I was just getting to know George, but I found him so warm and inspiring and dedicated to the future of workers in our communities when I was able to attend events with him. So I'm sorry for your loss, and I really appreciate his accomplishments and contributions in our community.
Thank you, Councilmember Klitzky. Well said. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm was just able to glance at it earlier today, and so hopefully I get some time to take a look at it. But first off, I definitely want to know more about your soap opera watching schedule. So, Jenny, expect a records request on calendar around that time. But I do have some questions because, again, if we're not currently expecting childcare to be provided, but now we're going to be expecting it to be provided, I do have a hard time understanding the 1% there, so I would love to know more about that. I'm also curious how that works with our city employees, because this is not a benefit that we provide to our city employees, and so I'm trying to understand if there's a discrepancy between what we're asking contractors to provide that the city is not providing. I think that that's a bad message to send. So I just have a couple questions here as to what's going on, but haven't had enough time really to digest all the language to understand what's going on. So probably more to come in the next few weeks. I think it's also important to understand that if there is a more significant increase in cost when it comes to our public projects, particularly, I know we're saying limited to $5 million, but when you look at our capital plan for the next 20 years, the capital plan is full of projects that are going to be more than $5 million. And I think that if there is an increased cost, you could see a few more bump up into that area based on a number of economic factors. What that ends up doing is it does affect a lot more things outside of those jobs, because the way that we fund our capital program is there is a lot of fees that are associated to help us reach that number. And so if you are increasing the cost of a project, then our general facilities charges, which we just increased a significant amount, will likely have to go up more. Your traffic impact fees are likely going to have to increase, or we increase the rates by which our current people are paying, and all of that affects the average person as well and the taxpayer. And so I have a lot of questions, and maybe all of that is worked out in the language, but again, I haven't had time to digest it. I would hope that again we could get a copy of this before a press conference or something to help us out, especially if it's going to be something I think pretty significant like this.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to some follow-up, providing more data to answer some of those questions. But yeah, thank you all for being here. And great questions. Thank you. All right. Next up, ordinance relating to alcohol signage. This is a fun one. So recently, we'd heard about some outreach efforts from the State Liquor Control Board related to neon signs where alcohol is being served, that unbeknownst to us, there was a limit on what you could have by your window. So here at Spokane City Council, I want people to know that we do, in fact, love cutting, government regulations from time to time. But there was an allowable exemption in the Washington State Administrative Code where a city could seek an exemption. We did confer with the city of Spokane Valley. The city of Spokane Valley had passed their ordinance that did the same thing. I think it was probably about March or April, I believe. Yeah, so fairly recently. So also part of that just cohesion, making sure that, we are also in line with the same laws as our neighboring city, and do see this as a positive net impact for local establishments. Yeah, go ahead.
So just the way it would work is you would be allowed to put these neon signs in place as long as it's not within 500 feet of the identified locations?
Following the same.
Okay. Is there any regulations on what the neon signs can display? And I only ask that because I know state law has some language around, cartoon characters and things like that you can't use in advertising regardless of where it is. And I'm just wondering if there are some regulations like that would still kind of override this. And just curious.
Yeah, I don't think that came up. We can follow up. That's a great question, but yeah, that wasn't something that came up in our initial research. So, yeah. Chris, anything you'd like to add? Any other questions?
No, I think you covered it. We'll follow up on the cartoon characters and stuff, but I think that's mainly billboards and things like that, and not to the on-site signage. But we'll check.
Okay.
So.
Great. All right. Ryan? Yeah, thank you. All right, thanks for your patience again for some of the agenda hopscotch. We are going to be going back to Commerce Grant Climate Planning Phase 2 with Maren Murphy. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, of course. Good afternoon. So this is a special budget ordinance to accept funding from Commerce for Phase 2 of our climate planning grant that's funded through the Climate Commitment Act. It's a continuation of work that we've been doing over the last year and a half on climate planning as we wrapped up Phase 1. Moving into Phase 2, we align with the state biennium on this grant, so that's why we're coming forward now. Their biennium starts July 1st, so this will be for funding from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2027. And the SBO will just establish a budget to accept our funds of $280,000, which is the remainder of our allocation from the Washington legislature to do climate planning. So those are my points.
Great. Any questions for Maren? Perfect.
Great, thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, next up, we're going to have Adam McDaniel. Come on down. Ordinance relating to impress funds.
Okay, council members, this is just a simple code cleanup. We did a review of our petty cash funds, and there were some that were no longer being used, so we're repealing those, putting them in the table to make them look nice and clean, and that's it.
Great.
Any questions?
No, you're good. Thank you. All right, next up, resolution setting budget priorities. This is a follow-up from the ordinance that we passed in March. Do you want to take it, or you got me? You go for it.
Yes, Council. Among the budget processes that you amended in March, you included a requirement that the council adopt budget priorities by resolution by July 1. We're a little behind that timeline, but we hope with the consideration today at committee and consideration by council on July 14th that you'll get caught up on that. This gets delivered to the administration, gives them some guidance as to what we think the administration should be looking at as they prepare the budget for the fall, the mid-biennial budget review. So.
I'll kind of outline too a little bit about the discussion that happened, how we came to some of the selected items. Council President Wilkerson, Councilmember Cathcart, and I, our budget director, met to discuss some of those priorities. They're listed in the resolution. So looking at our reserve funds, labor agreements, SERS VRIP, which we're going to talk about shortly, public safety, capital and animal control, Ombuds office, city facilities, and real property, and then workforce planning. Cool. All right.
I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, update on ARPA-funded language access work from Webb and Office of Civil Rights. Thank you so much for being here.
Josh Button on Webb. And good afternoon, Jarrell Haynes, Director of the Office of Civil Rights, Equity, and Inclusion. So we were asked to come before you all today to provide an update, and Council President Wilkinson even was gracious enough to send over a few questions to kick the conversation off. And so the first question she sent over was how much ARPA funds have been spent, on what, and how much funds are left. And so we'll let Josh take that. Okay, so initially we hired a programmer to start the web application for doing the translation services. At that time, we didn't have resources to do this in-house, and neither did IT. So we had to hire Volt Services programmer, and this is a local programmer here in Spokane. And we spent over the process of about 8 months, $130,000 on that tool. So I do want to reinforce that when Webb does things like that, we buy and own the application. So we own all the technology, we own all the code, and we will be able to support it moving forward. So we got a really big benefit out of that. It's not just a tool that we produced. We built a whole set of technologies to build into the next phase of the city's website, as well as any other online applications that we develop in the future. And this will also work with anything we work with IT as well. So we did get a really big benefit out of that first load of money. So, and then we do have ongoing costs for the translation services, and this is, and I kind of laugh when we talk about this dollar amount. And so when we pay these costs, Webb has been paying the ongoing translation costs for the last maybe 8 to 10 months, and we spent a total of $51.38. So that's for all the translations that we've done with this new tool since August. So, yeah, they're very much pennies for each translation.
Yeah, what was that number again?
I might have got the decimal wrong, but it was $51.
That's what I thought.
And 38 cents.
For all the translation we've done since August?
All the translations we've done since August with the tool.
Yeah, I mean, just to double down on the comment, I mean, this is exactly why I think we wanted to pursue a tool like this as a way to leverage, limited resources and provide access to the public. Where are we, or where do we expect to be with regards to getting a sense of the needs of the different departments and how those might integrate into this the tool?
Yeah, perfect question. So all of the departments either have themselves identified their vital documents or we have identified vital documents for them and in partnership with them. And the next phase is now to work with individual representatives from each department with the internal language access work group as we monitor the cost of the need within utilizing the translation tool, train all of our employees within the city of Spokane on how to utilize the translation tool. And as we collect that information and data, that'll help inform us on the broad scale, large picture of what the needs are.
And then do we have a sense, this might be more for Josh, do we have a sense of how this will integrate into the website? And by that I mean, we've got a lot of documents there that folks might want to access in a different language. Will there be a link to different languages or some sort of a drop down, or how will that work?
So the initial cost paid for the incurring of or creating the technology, right? So that was phase one. We actually have 3 phases to this whole program. Phase 2 is the integration into the city's website. We want to do that in the next version of the city's website because it just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Our current website was designed in 2012, though it does suit our needs for what we do, and it was very advanced at the time. It is due for replacement, and so we do want to replace that. We integrate that phase 2 into that new website. And as you mentioned, Councilmember, what we want to do with that is to allow people to make requests for translations. So basically, they'll see an icon of a document that maybe hasn't been translated yet. They'll be able to select that icon in their language, like say in Russian or Spanish and say request translation. And that document will get queued up with the technology. They will be emailed or notified via text whether or not that document is ready. Then they can download that document and view it in their favorite language or whatever language they want it. So, and that also helps with costs. So we don't have to actually translate all of our documents to all the languages. We only translate the documents on request. So.
And so they've selected to have it translated into Russian, let's just say. Will the next person who might want to access that in Russian download the exact same document, or will it retranslate for them to download?
Exactly. They'll get that Russian document that was already translated. So we don't pay again for that translation. So, and as you see on the tool, and I don't think any of you have signed into the tool or seen the admin dashboard yet, but there's actually an admin dashboard and actually shows all the documents that have been translated as well as all the metrics and all the costs up there on the stats button. Yeah, up one more. And then if you just hit the little X on each of those boxes, you'll clear those fields out and see everything and clear out your email address too. So these are all the documents that's been translated, right? So if you scroll down, you'll see all the costs and all the translations by services and language and everything there. So once you sign in, we'll give you access to all of those things and you can see them yourself. But we also got this built into the technology. So you'll be able, all the documents will be there forever. If we ever make a change, so say in phase 3 is the collaboration part of what we're doing with translation services. Say someone in the community says, hey, page 2 of that translation is wrong. Here's the correct translation. We can add it to that document and then change the one that we have on store and then notify all the people that may have signed up to receive that document or download it in the past. And they'll actually get the new translation that was added. So that's the collaborative phase 3 portion of it.
And we had talked in our last meeting about the website timeline, and you'd mentioned it was a bit out. And we had sort of talked a little bit about, what brainstorming, what could be possible, what would be the resources needed to expedite or move that forward. And I'd still love to just identify what that would be. It may or may not be feasible, but I think it's something we should talk about. 2-3 years out is quite a while, so.
Right.
Great.
Thank you so much. Any additional questions? Swimmer?
Gerald, quick question. So you mentioned before that you were going to hire someone to implement the language access within the city, but the civil rights coordinator position didn't have any language on that. Are you planning to hire someone else to fulfill that, or will the civil service coordinator be doing that?
Yeah, great question. So the civil rights coordinator will be the primary contact for language access within the city in partnership with the clerk that we just offered a position to just last week. They're going to help with the organization and scheduling of the internal language access work group. And so the idea that we had was, instead of utilizing the rest of the ARPA funds as one-time funds to hire an employee, that we would essentially embed language access in all of our departments by training individual language access coordinators within each and every department. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right.
Councilmember Dillon, did you want them to speak to the ordinance on the language access program? It's item number 12.
The timeline, right?
Yep.
The timeline?
Yep.
Changes? Yeah. So with the changing landscapes, right, obviously our timeline has changed primarily around being able to iron down the budgeting requirements of language access. And so whether it be, the city operating under a budget deficit, going to a biennial budget planning process. One of the uses that we see the rest of the ARPA funds being utilized for is supporting each and every department with their language access needs and having one centralized location to track those for each department to better inform them for their long-term budgetary planning processes. And so the primary adjustments I believe that are proposed are centered around that. Instead of departments having to have language access funds specifically budgeted in their 2026 departmental budgets, we're asking to push those dates out to the 2027, 2028 biennial process, but we still have the funds to utilize, if that makes sense.
Great, thank you. Any additional questions? All right. Thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we're going to have discussion on the letter from CERS Board Chair. We've Mr. Teakin, come on down.
Thank you, Chair Dillon, and the rest of the council. It's a pleasure to talk to you this afternoon. I assume all of you had the opportunity to see and read the letter that I was asked to send by the Spokane CSRS Board. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history as far as the Spokane CSRS and my time here as a 28-year employee for the city of Spokane. I suppose I should qualify who I am. I am James Teakin. I am the chair of the Spokane Employees Retirement System Board. And in my 28 years here at the city of Spokane, anytime there's been an alteration or something has happened to the retirement system, there's been a process. And this process has been to engage the parties who are affected, mainly our bargaining units, MMP and 270 being the largest of the bargaining units, figuring out what's going there, and then they'll engage the board, find out what the costs are, and proceed forward. If either one of the bargaining units chooses not to get involved, then usually at that point, the system stops. It's dead because, you know, without an agreement of both sides, one side is not participating and therefore it stops. Now, this was handled very differently. We heard about the beginning of September that there would be a possible VRIP, and that's a voluntary retirement incentive program, which means they're incentivizing you to retire. And my understanding is it was some amount of money between $5,000 and $20,000, depending upon the time you were here, to help pay for health bills. Or health insurance during the time that you were retired. So as soon as you incentivize that retirement plan, you offset what the actuaries determine as the normal retirement age. They have a table they use. It's set up by percentages based on this age. The percentage of the population will retire based on this age, on this age, and it gives an idea of what the system's looking at for costs of normal retirement. When you take an offer and incentive, it kind of upsets that boat. So we originally asked for a study in October, and it was pretty clear they were not interested in paying for the cost of the study. So the board authorized $10,000 to find out loosely what would the cost of this plan possibly be as it was described. The first cost came in right around $2.2 million. We did not know exactly who it was that was going to retire, but we were told that they were going to look at, the administration was going to look at and figure out who it was going to retire. And in my understanding, sometime before the end of October, that selection was made and the employees were notified that they were going to be allowed to do this voluntary retirement incentive program. Well, we got the names, figured out who it was, and we asked, all right, what is the real impact of this? And in March of this year, the actuaries gave us the real impact, and the real impact determined by the actuaries is $1,471,000 and some change in there, just a little less than $1,000 on the change. So if we were to do it as a normal cost, the city would incur half of the costs through contributions, and the employees would have half of the costs through the contributions. Well, the board was never given an opportunity to weigh in on it. And because of that, the board felt that this was a decision to move forward unilaterally by the city, that good part, 3/4 of the membership of the retirement system weren't a part of the voluntary retirement incentive program. It only affected 11 members out of 12. So 11 of the 12 were chosen. It wasn't like here's the program, step up if you want to go, go, and everybody had a chance to participate, and therefore everybody would share the costs. It was a very limited program with the decision being made by the administration as who it was that was going to go. And then they want to turn around and say, hey, 50% of the bill belongs to all the members of the system. The members of the system who weren't exactly allowed to participate in the voluntary retirement incentive program. So it is the opinion of me, the board chair, and the SERS board that this bill should reside solely with the city of Spokane. It shouldn't be up to the membership to have this bill to pay. Now, with that in mind, the SERS board was given a decision whether or not we'd amortize this bill over a 20-year period or over a 3-year period. We like to be fiduciarily responsible. So we said 3 years. 3 years is the max we would like to have for this bill to be paid. So what we're saying is, City of Spokane, here's the bill. You can choose how you would like to pay it, if you'll pay it, how you'd like to pay it. It could be one lump sum. It could be approximately $736,000 a year, or you could pay it monthly for the 3-year plan, but we would like to see it be paid in full. We also don't believe, because it was unilaterally implemented, that it should be a cost to the membership. It was a bill that was created by the city of Spokane in order to save money. Now, it is important that we properly fund and handle this SERS retirement system. It has a direct impact on all the citizens of Spokane. The funding of SERS directly impacts our bond rating. So that's what I bring forward to you today. I'd like to ask for your consideration to make this right and make sure that the system is made whole for this cost for the voluntary retirement incentive plan.
Jim, thank you very much for being here and talking to us about this. I tend to agree with you. I mean, I think it doesn't make a lot of sense that the city can unilaterally make a decision that has a fiscal impact and then isn't bringing forward a plan to cover those costs. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Frankly, I wonder how certain things like this can happen without at least a conversation, if not some level of approval by the board that would now is being told they have to incur these additional costs. So, you know, thank you for bringing this. I don't know the exact right answer on how we're going to find those dollars or what that process will look like. I am very concerned about our bond rating as a city. We have not been putting money into reserves. In fact, we've been mostly taking money out of reserves, which has a big impact. And then if this adds just yet another layer of concern that we might see that bond rating drop, that's something that we should all be looking at with eyes wide open. So thank you.
Absolutely. The board gets very nervous if the board has a major impact due to creating a savings, an employee savings for the city. So thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say, you know, I've been the city council liaison to SERS for my entire time on council, and there's a lot of investment that goes into each individual member, right? Like the SERS board spent money to send me to Wharton to get a certificate on how to manage programs like this. And so while it is, you have employees and you have administrative representatives on there, these are people that we spend time investing in so that they can adequately and properly steward these dollars. For me, the biggest problem in this is that the SERS board wasn't allowed to weigh in on this. That is the problem, because had they given us time, you know, had administration come to us early enough where we could have deliberated and said, okay, hey, we understand the financial position the city is in, whatever, maybe we would have said, you know what, that's fine, we're okay with this. But we weren't given that opportunity to have it. And that is the biggest problem to me, because you have employees who are still paying into that system that's now down $1.5 million or 2.2. And that's a real problem for me if I'm an employee. I didn't have an opportunity. My elected, right? We elect our board members, right? You were just reelected as the chair of the board, right? I was recently reappointed to the board. So we elect these members to steward those dollars, and our employee elected representatives were not allowed to weigh in on this. And again, for me, that becomes the biggest problem over all of this, is that we are already about $250 million underfunded, and every little bit starts to stack up. Every little bit matters. And there are plenty of areas in the budget where I can find $1.5 million that I would love to add to get this done and to make it right. Because again, I think the way that the board was treated was improper. I don't think it was the right process to follow. And so for me, again, as the liaison to the CSRS board and as a city council member, I don't think the way that it happened was proper, and it needs to be corrected.
Understood. And I would like to make some clarifications. I got my numbers mixed up as I was preparing for it. It's like $686,000, I believe, is the number for the yearly cost. The $736,000 is 50% of the cost that they're asking the employees to bear. So really, we aren't even arguing about whether or not it's $1.471 million. It's $736,000 that the employees are being asked, 0.21% of payroll for the next 3 years. Is what they're being asked to bear. So it's $736,000 is the additional part of that $1.471 million of actuarial determined dollars. So thank you.
Great. Any other questions for Jim? Two things real quick. I mean, beyond obviously the return of the 1.4, what else do you think, how to make this right, like going forward? I mean, given some of the concerns and how this went down, I think moving forward to kind of remedy this.
You know, moving forward, I hope we would be engaging our retirement system more, that we would pay the cost of what it would take for an actuarial study to be done. $10,000 is not a lot of money to know what the impacts are going to be overall globally. And maybe the decision would be made differently if you knew what the economic impact is going to be, not just to the city of Spokane, but to the employees who work for the city and all the citizens who are out there on the streets that we have to serve to make things happen. I would certainly hope in the future, and if it's something we need to look at, the board would definitely be willing to work on a system where the board would be involved in decisions like this, that we would feel like we have a say or a stake at the table. Right now, this is an ask, and that's exactly what it is coming at you as.
Thank you. Well, I also want to say just thank you for all your work on the waste energy plant this session. You made a lot of trips over and some dicey weather, early morning hours to go testify in committee, and that bill moved farther than I think we thought. And obviously, it's back to kind of figuring out some strategies and next steps, but just really grateful for your work, and it should be more noticed and recognized because you were really leading that effort and really putting in a lot of the time and energy.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to serve the membership, the citizens of Spokane, the administration, and this council. It's what I like to do, so thank you. All right, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we're going to have a resolution appointing our new member to City Council.
Thank you, Council President Pro Tem Dillon and members of the council. I'm here to brief the resolution that will appoint a new council member to the District 2 Position 2 seat once we lose our lovely Councilmember Navarrete here at the end of the month. It's in the pipeline as a blank resolution. This is sort of typical for what we have done in the past in order to get things moving with all the process and procedure that we need to do on our end to comply with our rules. Ginny, there is a slide on the vacancy process that I just wanted to put up there for you all and the public. I sent this to you all via email on Friday after our deadline for applications closed. We received 9 applications, and it's the one right above that, Ginny. So our application deadline closed on last Friday at 5 o'clock, received 9 applications. The next step is for council members to review those applications, and after reviewing, and you're welcome to go talk to the individuals who applied at this point, get back to council president and myself by next Monday, June 30th, by the close of business ideally, with your top priority 1 through 3, however many you want to give me, between 1 and 3 candidates. And that will help council president and myself kind of get a sense of the candidates that we will schedule to interview on July 10th. So I'm hoping to notify those candidates by Wednesday or Thursday, July 2nd or 3rd before the break, that they have an opportunity to interview with you in a public meeting. So in between now and the 30th, what's important for you all is to review those applications, make whatever phone calls or schedule whatever meetings you need to make to get council president and myself your priority candidates. We'll have those interviews on the 10th. After that, the following Monday, we'll hold a public hearing. This is new as of this appointment process. So at your ledge session on the 14th, we'll have a hearing item where you'll take public testimony, hopefully informed by some of those public interviews where members of the public can come weigh in. And then that Wednesday is our amendment deadline for this resolution that's at committee right now, where you all can put forward names and consider those at agenda review on the 21st. And then that would queue up the resolution for adoption on the 28th. So a lot of deadlines to hit between now and then. I think the most critical one for you guys just to keep in mind right now is getting back to me by the 30th.
Great. Any questions for Jacoby? Go ahead.
Yeah, could you just maybe specify the exact process that you will use to narrow the number of folks down?
Yeah, so we're kind of just following like we've done in the past where we get priority candidates from each council member, and then I'll take those priority candidates and just kind of look at them. Generally speaking, we get about 5 or so that rise to the top. There isn't any particular formula. We're just going to look at, the candidates you sent us and then maybe follow back up with some folks. We likely will see some overlap between candidates if it's anything like the past. But we try to at least make sure that every council member has an opportunity to interview one candidate of your choosing. So, yeah.
All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next up, we are going to have Dawn, and then we'll have you come up, Rose, after that.
Good afternoon, Council. I am here today. I just wanted to bring forward for discussion and kind of an informational piece that it was brought to our attention in the last 2, maybe 3 weeks that federal funding sources that have provided HUD-certified housing counselors in the region have been cut, which would result in layoffs of those positions at partner agencies effective July 1. Those HUD-certified housing counselors are a very regulated and specialty training program and certification that's received. One agency in Spokane alone, using just 2 HUD-certified housing counselors, prevented 376 foreclosures last year, primarily for senior citizens who are low income. Most of those have mortgage payments on a monthly basis in like the $500 to $700 range, meaning that if they are in fact foreclosed on and lose their housing, they will never be able to afford market rate housing again in the community. So these counselors are really, really essential in doing foreclosure assistance for low-income households in our community. It's a single-family homeownership preservation project. Our ask and intent is to do a very quick, outside of our normal process, RFP that would award 6 months of interim funding, giving those agencies the opportunity to at least compete for and identify longer-term housing or funding for those housing counselors. Some of these programs have been in the community for over 20 years and received ongoing funding at the federal level. So this was a surprise that folks did not see coming, and certainly something we at least want to give agencies the opportunity to secure longer-term funding and not lose that critical resource in the community. The idea is that we would post that RFP today. Again, it's a very quick turnaround. It would close on Sunday is the current plan. And then we have a contract for council to review on July 9th. For the first time with your legislative vote by the end of July. And then the contract that was provided to any successful applicants would backdate to July 1, but agencies would have to float those expenses from July 1 through the execution of a contract with the city. So that is and this would be using 1590 services funds, to be clear. So that's kind of what we're bringing forward. Just really don't want to see folks enter the homeless pipeline right now when we can preserve homeownership.
What's the amount again?
We're planning to go out with $300,000. We think that would fund two, if we got 2 applications, we believe that would fund 2. But I believe in the RFP, we've capped any one project at $200,000.
Mostly just curious about the process. We've, in the past, have tried to urge that we go back out for RFP, and we're always told it'll take a month, take 6 weeks. How are we able to do this with such quick turnaround?
Well, by not doing it, I mean, frankly, we are asking agencies to apply in a very short business window and asking our volunteer RFP committee to evaluate things in 2 days, and for the team to draft contracts and get them in front of you within 5, which is way outside the scope of our usual ability to do things. Often we have existing contracts in place where we can bring to council an amendment to the scope instead and add funds when necessary to preserve resources. We don't currently fund any of these because they have been federally funded. So our only opportunity here is to do a whole new contracting round, and knowing that we are unaware of how many agencies in total might do this work locally, we wanted to ensure that anybody had the opportunity to compete.
Go ahead.
How are we doing on our 75-25 when it comes to production and services in our code? So we're going to be funding this out of the services. How close are we to that threshold?
Oh, we have not. We have stayed within it the entire time. The 1590, I can't remember if those have come to council or if they come next week, but our capital round closed. We had, I believe, 11 eligible applications, some very exciting ones. The Affordable Housing Committee has made its recommendations. But every time we put out an RFP, we are tracking the anticipated revenue against the 75-25% split and making sure that we're reserving funds to make sure that we don't get out of whack there. Yeah, and I can send details. I just don't have them in front of me.
Since those have already been allocated or in the process of being allocated, this 300, is this from kind of the amount that we expect to come into the 1590 fund and not taking away from projects that have been funded through this round?
Absolutely, and we have been, because we have not, the last 1590 services RFP we did was a year ago, and we have been holding services dollars to go out this summer. So this will come out of the 25% of services that we've been holding, with a larger RFP coming out later this summer. And I did want to give one other thing, if there's no further questions on that. Last Monday, you all approved the city's consolidated plan that goes to HUD. It guides our HUD entitlement programs as well as other things. It's complementary to the comp plan and others. The HUD issued us a letter that they will be reviewing all plans for compliance with executive orders at the federal level, and if uncompliant, they will remove funding. Subsequent to that, the Northwest Association for Community Developers provided us a word list that needed to be removed from the consolidated plan to avoid cancellation of award. So the team has completed that task and will submit today, but I did want to bring to council's attention because you will see non-substantive but language changes in the con plan from what was in your packet last week. The best example, just to show you how insignificant the change is that we had many statements in the con plan that would say things like, we need diverse housing options. Well, the word diverse was on the list we needed to remove. So we have changed that to say many different housing types. So it's that kind of language change. There's nothing substantive. We are still compliant with all state, federal, and local law. But there was about 12 words that we've needed to just kind of remove from the plan and replace with same meaning but different words. Just wanted to make sure you were all aware of that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Rose, come on down.
Thank you. I'll keep it quick since I think we forgot to put me on there.
You're okay. We'll get this coordinated going forward.
We'll get it coordinated. Again, thank you. Yeah, I just want to, it's nice to be in an official capacity presenting to you all. All of you are very easy to get a hold of and engaged with our tourism agency, so grateful for that. Luckily today, I just bring really quick numbers for you. I did send an economic impact report. Hopefully everyone got their hands on that. You receive this report that's on the screen, which is also on our website, but we also did give you the full report that has even more numbers and like a verification on how they get the process, how they do the process, and how they come up with these. So if you ever have any questions, let me know. But if you can skip to the next page here, just want to have you take away a few things with you when you're out and about in the community. Number one, visitor spending is huge in Spokane County, $1.53 billion spent in 2024. That's a record. We're really excited about that. We also had a record 10.1 million visitors to our county. So something that all of you should be very excited about. We're extremely excited about that. We want to continue to see that grow because, of course, it's also generated $233 million in state and local taxes, which means every single household in Spokane County is offset by $1,080. So they would have to make up for that if there wasn't these, people outside of our area coming and spending dollars. The one thing that I'd like you to take away from me being in front of you quarterly is the ability for you to engage with us and reach out. Moving forward, I will have for you district reports on how we support small businesses and experiences in your district specifically, and that'll be something that you'll get regularly from our office. But you should want to know the return on your investment, right? Lodging tax, it is a state RCW, so it has, limitations on how we can spend it, but it does impact and affect the residents of Spokane County, including Spokane. And you should want to know what we're up to. It's millions of dollars that are getting spent to recruit people coming to our area. And we are definitely looped into wanting to be aligned with the city's mission, the county's mission, and how we do that, both in inclusivity in terms of programming, but also in how we support destination development, right? What is our long-term plan moving forward for the city of Spokane and Spokane County and how we build and grow in a sustainable way? So really exciting stuff. I hope that you kind of deep dive everything. You can see that there's some major segments. Of course, Visit Spokane supports almost all of the segments, including sports. Although we don't do the sport recruitment, that is our friends at Spokane Sports, we actually do a lot of promotion and marketing, so sports marketing, and we work well with all of our amateur teams that are also in the area. But food and beverage comes in first place of generating the most, and then we have lodging, retail, transportation, and recreation. And of course, transportation includes air and ground transportation. So really fun stuff. Excited to be here. Sorry that I have to go last, but thank you, Ginny, for squeezing me in. And do you have any questions before I let you go? Okay.
So when visitors are coming to Spokane, where are they typically staying? Where are they typically eating? Where are they visiting?
Right. I mean, I think mostly they're downtown. So the core of our hospitality business is downtown. And I know there's conversations on downtown clean and safety as well. That's been happening the past couple of weeks. But through convention business and sports business and also entertainment with our live entertainment facilities, both big and small, we're seeing the most coming downtown core.
And I think that's the point that I wanted to make here was that, downtown is our, is our living room. This is what people are coming into, and making sure that the Spokane, as we're putting our best foot forward, I think downtown is a big part of that. Because again, like you said, a lot of times people say, things about, and they're totally right, hey, we want our neighborhood as well, and I totally get it. I think that 1,080 number is a really big deal to let people know, this is how it affects you, is that, if downtown sees declines in certain ways, that's an increase in revenue that the city has to find somewhere, and it would come from the general population. And so for us having people coming to the city of Spokane, spending dollars here, that is sales tax revenue that is not being borne by, the individual. And so downtown is really special. I love to hear that we had a record year. I think we've talked about that before. I think that's really exciting stuff. I think there's a lot coming down the pipeline for Spokane that's really exciting. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing those numbers. And we need downtown to be clean and safe. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm just wondering what sort of macro level does the data get to? How in the weeds are you able to get with the data that you acquire?
In terms of geolocation, or it gets pretty intense. We can break it down even more. Again, I sent that full report, and we're working on correlating those numbers with our community impact report, which you all received a couple months ago. So basically, you received a community impact report. It's kind of our work and what we do in the community, and then these numbers reflect the impact of that, the dollar impact of that. We're also looking at the Placer.ai data, which is something a lot of people are using, including our friends at Downtown Spokane Partnership, to be able to pinpoint even closer to where people are coming from and where they're spending their time and where they're spending their dollars. So essentially, if you have a cell phone and you're in our area, we can track you all we want, in a non-creepy way.
I would love to be able to see exactly.
Yeah, I know.
To the extent that it's possible, I would love to get a better sense of what it is specifically that's attracting folks to Spokane. What are those amenities, things that they're, doing, participating? And then get a sense too of while they're here, I mean, what else are they doing? Are they going up to the north side, the South Hill? Are they, leaving the area altogether to go hiking somewhere? I mean, I think it'd be good to have a real good sense of how our amenities are being used so that we can do a better job of either maintaining them or expanding them or whatever it might be.
Sure, yeah, we can definitely pull that for you, and we can heat map it out too. And obviously, it'll change with the season, so we do see a lot of outdoor activity. Depending on the season, that fluctuates where they're at. You mentioned up north, Green Bluff is obviously packed during the fall. But yeah, we're happy to put that together, and I can kind of pinpoint that more directly if you're not finding exactly what you need in that report. We can do that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I look forward to also the neighborhood focus too.
Yes.
I think some of the investments we've made with ARPA for business centers
Right.
and seeing the impact of that. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
All right. So I put homeless ordinance discussion here as more of a placeholder. There's not a ordinance, I guess, really attached to this discussion, but had circulated an amended draft to council just to kind of get the discussion moving, keep things moving as more stakeholder outreach is occurring. I don't know if folks have had a time to review it, if they wanted to discuss it. Totally open, but we also don't need to spend too much time here. I know that the way that we left the last meeting late, there was the deferral to June 30th. So I did want to try and get this amendment in the docket to council so folks would have time to review, ask questions, and go from there. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I haven't had too much time to review, but how, other than camping, does the changes that you're presenting make any other modifications to what has been presented?
Yeah, so there's no, it removes all the days notice. So there's not I think the 3-day to the 7-day in a lot of ways was bogging us down. It does take directly the language from Prop 1, those definitions for 1,000 feet of within a park, school, daycare, childcare facility. And then in addition, one thing in rereading, I think what was proposed originally, there was a broader definition around when a notice wouldn't be required for what could be a threat to public health and safety. Just reviewing what was actually already in our current code, making sure that there was more specificity around that. So, no notice requirements are required for physical threats or violence, criminal activities such as drug use, drug sales, sex trafficking, more conditions that could spread the likelihood of disease, so human waste, food, as well as risk to bodily injury or death, so discarded needles, weapons, and as well as any damages to the natural or environmentally critical areas, and then as well as significant amounts of trash. Because I think one thing that I felt like during last week in these discussions is that sometimes those get kind of intermingled, and I think it was important to put that out more explicitly about, okay, yeah, if we're talking about this conduct and making it more conduct-based, then we're in a place where, okay, yeah, a notice is not required. And I think that that's very important for the public to understand as well.
Well, and I appreciate some of these changes. My concern kind of is on just the interpretation and the enforcement. I mean, it's not too different from kind of what's in our existing code that I don't believe has been used very much. And, it talks about a reasonable belief. And so what has given them that reasonable belief, and once they're in, maybe somebody said there was drug use and there's not, just what are the unintended consequences in those scenarios for officers? And so I would love to get some input from Chief or other folks involved with PD and the hot teams to get a sense of how that would apply. And then the other question I had was just specifically like sit-lie, pedestrian interference, or how are those changed or are they?
Yeah, there's still the obstruction and in the private public right-of-way. There's still language that is naming sitting and lying. I think that some of the final discussion will be, how much latitude is there in the sidewalk? Is it partial obstruction? Is it any obstruction? Is it all obstruction? So I think there's still a little bit more we need to find out on the implementation side, like you said, and hopefully we can get some answers.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think there were a lot of misconceptions because of different language that people can pick out of these ordinances. So I just want to reiterate that it is still a citywide camping ban. Just because certain areas are prioritized in this new amendment doesn't mean that it's okay to camp somewhere else on public property.
Correct. Yeah, I think, that again goes back to the trying to meet folks where they're at on Prop 1, wanting to see that reinstituted. So incorporating that language as a prioritized and expedited zone, as well as the removal part. But yeah, that's a really good point. Go ahead.
Yeah, can someone explain D to me where it says the city shall establish and maintain administrative policy and procedures that integrate housing-focused outreach and behavioral health services with the removal and prevention of encampments on public property while protecting the personal property rights of individuals subject to enforcement under this section?
That's a great question. I mean, that was, I think, part of the legal review for making sure that this is constitutional.
That was the original language proposed by the administration. So I think trying to expand on their, what their plans are, but they are planning on regulations or rules relating to that. So,
go ahead.
Yeah, and that brings me to the other concern I had was, removing the public rule requirement. I mean, I would rather us just put the rules in the code. I mean, they're in the code today in our existing law, and I just think we should put the rules in the code. Otherwise, and particularly since it's administrative and not a public rule, and granted we haven't adopted our public rule ordinance yet, but I hope that it will require that changes be brought to council. And I worry that administrative policy is something that could change minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day. And, even if council is briefed on how it's changed, it could be changed again without necessarily telling us and or the community, frankly, at large. So just that's a concern I have. I like things that are spelled out and clear and not something that's sort of on the back end of things.
Sure. That's good feedback. Go ahead.
I think the section D that Councilmember Beagle is referring to is referencing programs that we already have in our plans and our funding to try and address housing. But I think it also is trying to address what we do with people's personal property. I think one of the bigger goals is to not take away people's paperwork, IDs, try to find some place to store their stuff, those kinds of things. So that's what that's getting at.
Yeah, that's a both and. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and what I'm worried about in this, without knowing the administrative policy and procedures, and when we're saying we're integrating them, it doesn't discuss the balance there, right? Because what I would read this as a citizen is this is giving the administration a lot of leeway, because it's not in the code, a lot of leeway to say, hey, we are enforcing, but it's not spelled out as 7 days, but now it's an administrative policy that we're at 7 days or up to 7 days or something like that. I just think there's a lot of ambiguity here to give administration or enforcement efforts a step back, and so that's a concern of mine. There's also other things in here, and I just lost it as I was talking through that, but Yeah, I mean, anyway, I've got more, but there's still time to digest all this.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's something I'm hopeful that we can kind of help clarify and answer. So thanks. All right. Any other questions? I see Councilmember Zepone just joined us online. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it. So now we'll go to staff reports. Let's have Alex first.
Good afternoon, Council. I was totally not expecting to be the first staff person to come up here, but here I am. I just put a quick PowerPoint together for us. The Equity Subcommittee, just a quick update. We are actually going out for recruitment over the next month and a half. So if you have any modes of communication, do you mind sliding? So there's a QR code that takes you directly to the application if you want to share it with anybody in your networks that might be interested in joining the Equity Subcommittee. Also, one of the things that we're looking into, and thanks to Kate, we were able to compile, previous slide, looking at different cities and what they were doing around equity in their budgeting process. So that's something that Equity Subcommittee is looking forward to diving into. There's a few different options. So hopefully they can make a recommendation to you all. I was hoping by November, if that sounds like the right timeline, or if that's too late, that feedback would be helpful.
What are they recommending? Is it a process, or are they recommending some spend of dollars?
I think it could be a process. So there's different cities have approached it differently. Some are outcome-based, some are participation-based, and the other ones are process-based. So I think really presenting those options and learning more about them, and then also meeting with council members to see, aside what would be preferred, that would be helpful guidance.
Well, I'm just trying to get a sense. Are we anticipating expending these some amount of dollars in a different way in the mid-year biennial review, or are we anticipating to do it at the start of the next biennium?
Yeah, I think we're hoping for the process to start for the next biennium.
Okay.
Jump in real quick. So I think part of this too with the participatory budgeting and the resolution that we are doing to have the council priorities and even having that out in public is something new and something different that does add more transparency, and that's kind of what they're really looking for. So how is there just more overall community participation in our budget hearings and discussions and how people provide input and feedback?
Yeah.
And then in your mind, I guess, are we going to identify an exact amount of money that would be spent by this group or identified? Or is this kind of they're going to put forward some ideas and then it's just sort of a political decision by council as to which ideas get some funding?
Yeah, I think ultimately they were created to advise council on, so they can put forward ideas and council can do what we desire or what council desires to do with those ideas. I am a fan of the process-based, of like really understanding the impacts of the way that we budget on different communities, and having departments thinking through those questions while creating their own budgets. Cool. So, but we're still early on in this, so can't give you those clear answers to what they will recommend. Next, please. This past month, I took an opportunity to joining 2 different learning opportunities. One was through NLC's Policy and Systems Change Compass. I thought it was very helpful, and I forwarded the work plan onto you all. It really talked about really being able to identify the problem that we're looking for, doing root cause analysis, understanding the ecosystem and being able to map it out. Just really a different, or not different, I feel like we do a lot of it already as best practices in developing policy. The other training that we went through many of our internal staff has been a racial equity assessment, kind of learning when to do them, why to do them, and certain questions to be asking for. I think from staff, there was a lot of questions on what do we do with our briefing papers from there. How do we provide better feedback to staff, and how do we encourage more participation in those questions that we have in our briefing papers? Currently, we include 2 of potentially 6 questions that could be asked in an assessment. Yeah. Then next slide. Yeah, so we continue to be members of Government Alliance on Race and Equity. They provide trainings, tools. It's really government practitioners that share different policies that are working within their jurisdictions. They create learning opportunities. I think Council President wanted me to speak to this because this year I am the chair of the steering committee for this organization. So I am joining a few different meetings throughout the month to kind of support that and continue growing and learning that. I'm sorry, this is echoing. That's why I'm trying to figure out the microphone. Is it going to stop? Okay. Thank you, Eric. City of Belonging is an ongoing conversation that we've had over the past year. We had trainings from Civic Commons. You know, it's a group of different institutions, philanthropy, schools, universities, just trying to, we've all been doing a lot of this belonging work. So what does that mean? We're still into trying to figure out what our next steps are. There have been many different ideas on how we could move forward. One of the emerging conversations have been around immigrants and kind of just different experiences that they're having now. One of the group members brought up how they hadn't seen any teenage suicide before, and this year they already had 2 in the past few months. So that was an opportunity for this group to learn from other immigrant organizations or immigrant serving organizations. But really, part of my work on this is trying to figure out what's our next step in some of this belonging work, and how do we break down some silos or share some of the work that we've been doing before. As a part of this and kind of adjacent to it, I'm also part of a statewide belonging table with the Othering and Belonging Institute. They're kind of the research organization around belonging, so trying to learn more. One valuable conversation we had was around reconciliation. So how do we bring groups that are in conflict back together in space? Who's the right people to be having those conversations and creating that atmosphere? I know it's something that we experience here a lot, so something we could continue working towards. Yeah.
I'm just curious, what groups are in conflict?
I think it's more of like when breaking happens between just people or communities, how do you have conversations to kind of bring them back together? Or when different groups don't see others as righteous, you know, how do we create a bridge to be able to start seeing each other for the lot of things that we have in common? And then finally, additional collaboration that that's ongoing, part of the city's racial disparate impact work group, Climate Technically Advisory Committee, Council's Language Access. Quick update on that. We have, we've been working with Jacoby, Lisa to kind of create a landing page that we're gonna get translated and then being put up on the website. And then once we're able to get that up, we'll create a space for our documents to be uploaded onto those pages onto those languages that we already have translated. And today we have Marshallese Community Days. So Spokane Marshallese Community is helping organize a community day right outside today between 5 and 6 before a council meeting. So if you want to come down and chat and get to know new community members, that'd be awesome. And then we keep working on the equity spotlight.
Thank you so much, Alex. Any other questions for Alex? All right, next up we'll have Kate.
Lots of stuff. All right. Well, thank you, Chair Dillon and council members for having me here today. I'm going to provide a really quick update, nice and brief, I'm hoping, of the city's general fund at council member and Chair Dillon's request. Specifically, he wanted me to focus on the general fund revenues, as our CFO recently pointed out that our sales tax revenues are lagging. And as many of you know, that's a key component of our general fund revenues, generally accounts for nearly 20% or 1/5 of our revenue. So we will get to the sales tax revenue or the sales tax discussion, but I'm going to start off with kind of the bigger picture, as Jenny's got us up here already. Our overall general fund revenue trends are heading in the wrong direction this year. They've declined 5% year over year as of today. All of these slides, I'm providing you both the nominal numbers, which are just the actual numbers that you'll see in our accounting books, and for historical reference, because inflation has been running at such a high rate, I'm also providing real numbers, which are the inflation-adjusted numbers. So for every period, year-to-date period, going back to 2022, you'll see both the nominal number, which is the actual numbers, and then the real numbers, which is the inflation-adjusted numbers. So the darker number is always going to be the numbers straight out of our accounting books, and the lighter number is if you were to rejigger it so that it was in today's dollars.
And just, that's year over year, 5% and 7.5% drop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And you might get into this, so stop me if you're going to. What were our projections for this year on our budget? I know they weren't a 5% drop or a 7.5% drop.
We were, I mean, and it goes, each of our categories, the administration had different underlying assumptions for growth. Overall, they were anticipating rather robust growth in revenues. But for sales taxes, I believe we ended up at about 1.5%.
Positive. Okay.
Positive. Now, to be fair, things have changed. And in my monthly reports to you that I've now started including not just budgetary and financial data from the city, but also micro and macroeconomic data, things are changing at an extraordinary rate. The volatility index that we spoke about at my last presentation to all of you has been going crazy. It's settled in the last week and a half, which is happy news. Who knows, with all of the geopolitical events of late, how that's going to impact things. I mean, we had been enjoying one upside of all of the economic volatilities. We had been enjoying lower energy prices, but with the conflagration in the Middle East, certainly we are going to be watching that as well. But focusing on our general fund revenue, yes, as you've seen, on a nominal basis, there's a 5% drop year over year. All of these numbers, just so you know, are June numbers, like so year to date through June, and with the caveat that the prior years are the full month of June. So this is 1 week short of the full month of June because I ran them this morning. So. Then we can go to the next slide, Jenny. Great. So this is the other side of the equation, our expenses. And this is great news. The administration's been doing a very commendable job controlling our general fund expenses thus far, with a 6.5% decline in spending year over year on a nominal basis, which translates into a 9% drop on a real inflation-adjusted basis year to date. The greatest savings thus far have been in outside services and through salary savings from unfilled positions. Next slide. The combined effect of controlled expenses and the ability to bolster revenues with extraordinary revenue, as we've discussed multiple times this year, is a smaller net loss in our general fund year to date. Last year at this time, the general fund stood in a net loss of $16.7 million. While this year we're at a $13.7 million negative position. Jacoby and I have been jokingly calling this performance $30 million less bad than the prior year, or $4.6 million less bad on a real basis, an inflation-adjusted basis. Yes?
Are you able to kind of identify where the administration is doing a really good job of reducing those expenses? Just because as you think about overtime with fire, police, and seeing how much above what we had budgeted for, at least, I think some of us anticipated it, but where those are at, I'd be curious to see kind of where outside of public safety are we really finding those cost savings?
Yeah, I mean, the police, so are you relating with fire and police, their savings on FTEs specifically?
Well, I'm wondering, I mean, how does that work out in the wash between their overtime and savings on FTEs? I think the overtime is much higher, is it not?
Only in fire. I mean, up until last month, I've been showing you guys that the police overtime has been running under budget up until last month. So that side, the police side that comes straight out of the general fund, has been doing well on overtime, and they have not hit their hiring goals as of yet. Overall, just looking at the general fund in totem, again, like what I've just said, is that the vast majority of the savings right now are, number one, is in the other services category. And in my last slide presentation to council, I broke that down somewhat so you could see the details of where the savings appear to be coming from. And then the second greatest savings is coming from our salaries. That's that year over year on a year-to-date basis, salary expenditures are down, and that they're not increasing at the rate we anticipated them to. And that's mostly because the number of FTEs is not what we anticipated. It is not, unfortunately, because we're spending at a slower rate of growth than we anticipated. Next slide. Okay. So bear in mind that the less badness disappears if you factor out the $4 million in revenue transferred from the Development Services Fund. The bottom line is our city general fund continues to experience significant challenges, especially with declining revenues thus far in 2025. However, the administration's strategic financial controls and our ability to adapt to changing market conditions currently have moderated the overall general fund loss. Next slide, please. As promised, this is the deep dive into, well, not really deep dive, a quicker deep dive than I give you on your detailed reports. This is a look at our property and sales tax receipts compared on a year-over-year basis. And this is just kind of breaking it out. Again, the top one is the nominal, which is what you would see in our accounting books, and then the lower one is the real, so adjusted for inflation.
And, hi. The property tax drop, is that because of decrease in values?
I think that's largely what it is. And I mean, just across the country, though, there are some red flags coming up for real estate. And I definitely, in my last report, the one just that went out Friday, I'd encourage you all to look into that. I provide a lot of data on looking ahead. We may want to revisit some of our projections for real estate, or at the very least, it's something between now and when we get through into the biennial process. We're going to want to look not just at sales tax revenue assumptions, but I do think we're going to need to keep a closer eye on the real estate related sectors. Yes.
Is that related to foreclosures, or what are you seeing?
Foreclosures aren't rising yet, but if you look at, especially in the younger demographics, the percentage of money that they're putting into housing is as a percent of their total income is almost at a near record for, and it goes by age band. And then you look at the labor availability in the construction industry, and I know all of you have been hearing kind of whispers of this, the labor availability tied in part to immigration, but also just to broader workforce changes, especially overall demographics, especially with age. There's going to be increasing strain on the ability of developers to find labor to complete projects. And then you also have the issue of the cost of inputs, both labor costs and the cost of raw materials, and even the availability of rare materials, real materials. One of the things I circulated on Friday, just kind of as a curiosity, was how long does it take a container ship from China to get from China to the U.S.? And I gave 4 options ranging from 11 days to 45 days. And it's the 45 days. So if you think that there was a pause as the tariff wrangling was unfolding, a lot of the materials that would be used for housing sat and still have a 45-day journey to make it here. So there are going to be, a lot of the experts are anticipating a slowdown in development. So just things to keep in mind. Okay, next slide, please. So this is 14%. This is the happy number. I would also say 19 is actually what should be up there. Over the remainder of our budget biennium, current economic dynamics indicate that the city needs to improve our general fund net position by at least 14% through a combination of revenue growth, if we can do it, and continued controls on costs in order to break even, just to hit break even. 15% or more will be necessary for a positive net. And if you look at this on a real basis, a real basis, an inflation-adjusted basis, it's 19%. So, and you also have to consider that 14% includes that $4 million one-time transfer in. And we do have quite a few non-recurring revenue sources for 2025. The big one being that $4 million transfer that we've discussed. So really we're looking at, for the biennium, trying to figure out how we can get anywhere between 14 and 19% better performance. So whether that's looking at the revenue side and if there are ways to increase that, or probably more critically, continuing to keep our eyes on the expense side. Great. Last slide.
Thank
Is that
so
what you
much,
were
Kate.
looking
That
for?
was it, yeah.
Great.
Any other questions for Kate? All right. Eric, go ahead, sorry.
My last drink of coffee had a bunch of grounds in it, so
You're okay.
nailed it. So I have a question for you on
Yes.
that, because there were a number of one-time dollars that came in. So the DSC revenue came in. We also had police and fire contribute into that. We kept our 1% increase on the utility tax.
Yes.
And so the utility tax aside, the other one-time millions of dollars that came in, are those accounted for in your calculations there
Yes.
as well? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Because we had, I mean, almost $10 million in one-time funds come into.
10.8.
Right.
10.8.
Yes.
Yes, and
Not
some of
including
some of them will continue through '26. So our biennium will have some that are recurring. Once we're outside of 2026, those are non-recurring, except for the $2 million that we're saving on pensions. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right, thanks so much, Kate. I believe Jacoby, come up and then we'll hustle through our board and commission updates.
Great. Thank you, Pro Tem Dillon and members of the council. I am going to use this opportunity to, again, try some new technology and commit to you all to work with you next week during committee to try this with all of you. This is our screen share technology. So actually, Ginny, you want to close that from your end of things? That's my slide that I'm going to present to you all. The VIA technology that we invested in with ARPA dollars, we are just kind of now piloting our ability to screen share just from devices here. So planning could walk up and they wouldn't need to make sure that we had their presentation. They could just have it on their laptop, screen share up here. And the best thing about all of this is that you all can pull this same screen up on your individual laptops up there. So I think eventually I would like to get you all tablets so that you don't forget your laptop and you can have something right there. But if you go to that IP address, see, this is why we're practicing, because that should be full screen mode. Don't know why it's not. Let me try something else. But if you go to that IP address 10.38.0.147, when you're on the city's Wi-Fi, and I can't get it to work, Councilmember Cathcart, on your mobile device yet, but again, this is why we're piloting it, you should be able to just see exactly what's up there, and then when we create eye charts for you, you can zoom in on your own device or get really close and check it out. So that's kind of the first item on my report. I'm actually going to try to see. Yeah, go ahead.
Does it work on the guest Wi-Fi?
Should work on the guest Wi-Fi, yes. Hold on one sec.
He was just saying it doesn't work on mobile yet.
I haven't been able to figure out how to get it to work on mobile yet. And it looks like I have to be in full screen mode when I first share to be able to get that presentation in full screen mode. So there'll be some things to work out here, but I'm excited about it. So that's item number one. Item number two, I'm getting plenty of feedback from the District 2 Town Hall, just like I did on the District 1 Town Hall. I thought that we made some good improvements, kind of went a lot smoother, tried to make sure that we were prioritizing hearing from residents, business owners, workers in that district, and I think that worked pretty well. Feel free, this is just your reminder to send me a note when you think of something that we think we should implement at the next one, to shoot me an email about that. I'll be working with Councilmember Klitsky and Councilmember Zappone to plan for the District 3 Town Hall in September. Also on my plate, council position vacancy. I'm managing and tracking the timeline that I shared today with you all. And concurrently kind of working on your quasi-judicial hearing timeline and your roles and responsibilities. I scheduled a first meeting with a group of council members to talk about your role and procedures that will be involved. I've got another group of you, I think, meeting this next Monday. Later on today, you'll go into a closed session, as you're allowed to by RCW, with your judicial hat on, quasi-judicial hat on, to discuss the merits with your attorney. And yeah, so working on making sure all of those steps are in order. You'll set some hearing dates today at agenda review, so I'll connect with you all individually on that. My work with Webb continues. I know I keep bringing this up every time I'm in front of you, but we are refining that testimony form, and I think we're getting pretty close to a launch. I'm really happy with where we're at. We're not creating a bunch of new work in this process. It's speaking to OnBase that already has all the data that we need, and then I'm dragging and dropping things onto a public-facing form where people can click to sign up, where they get email confirmation that they've signed up or text confirmation that they've signed up. So I'm hoping that maybe after the summer break, we can kind of reset with this, and I'll just update our testimony form right now to just link on that main page to this testimony sign-up form. So hold me accountable to mid-August when we come back, that people will be signing up online. That'll kind of change the rhythm of our meetings a little bit. We'll probably have that sign-up form just up on the big screen, and it's pretty cool. It's very searchable, so you can just type in, Jenny would be able to type in open forum, and it would just grab the people who signed up for open forum, or board and commission appointments, or whatever you're considering, and it'll automatically filter it up there for you so you can see on the big screen who's all signed up. And then, of course, I'm helping with day-to-day central staff management and workload management, and been involved in some trainings with Alex on equity and inclusion, and working myself to pursue some more training through the Management Center. And I've also been leading our ops and neighborhood work groups, which have both been going well. Yeah, I think that's all I got for you today. But
On that new sign-in test, or the testimony form, is there going to be a way for people to just sign in pro-con? Did we ever add that into it?
I was going back and forth with Webb about whether that was going to be phase 1 rollout or phase 2, and we still haven't landed. I think it's going to be phase 2.
Okay.
I think they would like to try getting this piece out and then adding that as the second phase.
Okay.
Yeah. The question is where that lives. And we've been testing, like the state does, a shadow box, I guess is the technical term, where it pops out at you, when you've reflecting back that you've signed up and people have signed in pro or con. And what we want to do is something a little different, where it exists on its own kind of web interface on its page that you could go navigate to. Yeah.
Thanks. All right.
Great.
Thanks, Jacoby.
See if I can stop sharing now. Yep.
All right, we'll go through our board and committee reports. Council Operation Work Group. Actually, believe Jacoby covered part of that in his presentation. Anything to add? Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Equity Subcommittee.
No, Alex pretty much covered everything.
Okay, Fiscal Impact Work Group. We met. Yeah. Language Access Work Group.
We haven't met.
Yeah. Legislative Committee, we haven't met yet. I know Eric was out today, but I think it is going to be time that we do reconvene, just trying to keep the momentum going on the waste to energy discussion. Now is obviously a good time during interim to meet with legislators and come up with a game plan. But I know the governor was here recently for the North-South Corridor event. Thanks to everyone that could be there. Yeah. Investment Committee, have not met. SERS Board.
So SERS, obviously we just heard, the discussion that continues to be a hot topic for us. But also we recently had Moss Adams, now Baker Tilly, come on in. We get audited regularly, and they came in and we had a good report that came in. We had a discussion with our OCIO, our outside chief investment officer, and their group, and talked to them about some things coming down the pipeline. And yeah, I think that's it.
Great. Council President is gone for Aging Long-Term Care. AWC Board, Councilmember Zappone, are you able to give an update online? Not sure if he's still here. Okay, keep it going. Fire pension, that was more operational with just some discussions around settlements. Oh. Okay.
Okay, you want to ask him?
All right, Councilor Zappone, you want to give an update on AWC Board? That's okay. I think I'd rather us just keep going. We can do an update at the next meeting. Yep. All right. And I think, what other updates do we have? I think that was the end of it. Launch Northwest.
We just had our annual, I don't remember much to bring up here, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, police pension, I was at that, same, more operational on some retirement settlements. Councilmember Klitsky, Spokane County Veterans Advisory Board.
So they met while I was out of town, and they didn't have a virtual option, but some of the proactive things that they're working on that are kind of newish are they're working with a Skill Bridge program to help folks get skills when they come back from their military service. And one of the more exciting things, they're working on getting a memorandum of understanding with Fairchild that folks could be referred to them immediately when they're out processed, so that they don't have to wait until they have a problem to contact Veterans Services. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. And then I have a copy of their slide deck, basically, from the meeting, if folks are interested.
Great, thank you. Let's keep going down. Okay, Council President's gone. For West Plains, also gone. Northeast PDA.
Yeah, we had a special meeting that got rescheduled, and I had a conflict, so I wasn't able to be there. But it was mostly talking about the Haven-Wellesley project and some of the changes that are most likely necessitated just from the economics. And so more to come on that, but it is getting slim. If it does happen, it's getting very much slimmed down.
Go ahead.
Did you guys talk about removing the one-way for Market and Haven and what that's going to do?
I don't think, no. Well, again, I wasn't at the meeting, so if it came up, I'm not aware of it. But it has been a little bit of a conversation, just the interest of what if Market were to go back to, two-way and Haven the same thing, and how would that impact downtown Hilliard? And it seems to be kind of a split opinion, but it hasn't been something we've taken a formal position on.
All right, thank you. Well, that concludes our June Finance Administration meeting. Thank you so much for joining in.